Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below. and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the SRA GTE-Radical Series warm-up race here at the Charlotte Roval. Oh, we've got a fantastic bit of weather out there right now, 24 degrees Celsius, perfect levels of humidity there around this unique spectacle of motorsports. The NASCAR layout here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Charlotte Roval, home to some spectacular races in the NASCAR Cup Series, and hopefully a very, very good race for the SRA GTE-Radical Series. And as this is a warm-up event, it will be a non-championship race just to get some practice in for the championship event, which will be held this Saturday. So do stay tuned to the for that when it comes online. We're going to be broadcasting some select rounds throughout the course of the SRA season. Special thanks to the Tim. Special thanks for the Sim Racers Asia community, the Sim Racing Association of Singapore, as well as the Macau China Sim Racing Association for putting on this wonderful event. We here at Adrenaline Impact decided it's time to bring one of our traditions into the SRA fall here, the warm-up race. We had that for a couple of, for the first couple of runs, I do believe. This time we've invited not only the SRE community drivers, but as well as the SRA and the Macau China Association drivers as well, to get a bit of practice in just before the main event this Saturday. So right now we're on board with Tarmizi Yusuf in the Radical SR8. This is the car that's going to be going up against the GTE cars in this rather unique series. Now the main championship will be held between GTE cars, but the Radical SR8s are being run in an invitational class. And it'll be very interesting. Ooh, as Tarmizi almost got collected through that corner there, but he just about managed to make it through. But as I was saying, the Radicals will be running an invitation class. It'll be very interesting to see how well the Radical does in comparison to these big GTE cars. And right now, coming towards the end there, I believe this might be Ilham Plabi, who's out there on track, heading towards the final corner of the lap. Let's see if we can ride on board with Ilham Plabi, a very, very quick driver in the previous SRA events. Let's see how he goes around the lap here. Flat out across the line in third gear, fourth gear. Now dives down on the brakes into the first corner. They're very, very easy to get the car upset over the curbs there, and now through turn 2 and into the Bank of America Roval section. These series of 3 right-handers, the racing line is absolutely critical through here. Of course, there are some sections here which are a little bit more liberal with the interpretations of the runoff areas and what constitutes the racetrack. So you have to use every single piece of asphalt you can. Now you get onto the banking here, onto NASCAR 1 and 2, and it's absolutely flat out from Ilham Plabi going through turn NASCAR 1, out of NASCAR 2 and onto the back stretch here. And now coming into the bus stop chicane, you've got to be very careful in these cars to really navigate around the chicane and really tip through it. They've made the chicane a little bit deeper now for the Cup Racing Series, although I do believe in iRacing it's still the same, going around NASCAR 3 and 4, coming into the braking zone here. And you've got to really make sure that you get the racing line perfect through there. You've got to use all the curb you can without getting the car upset through the corners, and that appears to be a time that didn't count. So, not too sure what happened there from Ilham Plabi. I believe that was a 1:14, but for whatever reason, that didn't quite count. It's a real challenge around this track to figure out how much of the apron you can take without disrupting the qualifying scrutiny. After Fadler now, he's in the big BMW M8 coming across the line there. He's going to feed the car through it. Afik Fadlan, known to his fans as Afa, one half of the popular 778 Alpha Autosports team that was running in the IMC Championship earlier on in the season, alongside Calvin Ha. Now going through the corner here, that's Ryan Lamb, who's in the Corvette. The C8 Corvettes, I must say, a little bit tamer than their more raunchier front-engine counterparts there. You can see the beautiful Valvoline livery on Ryan Lamb's car as it goes onto the banking. Heading right out to the edge of the track there. But even though it doesn't sound quite so thunderous, it does definitely go very, very quickly indeed. This car could be one of the challengers for the win of the race this evening. But so far it's Simon Sanchez in the lead, on provisional pole position here on qualifying with a 1:14.201. Shami Aizan is in second, followed by Andy So, Mohammed Muhaimin, Mohammed Tarmizi Yusuf. Ryan Lamb is the man we're watching in sixth. He'll be hoping to try and improve his position. Calvin Ha is on Mount Lap right now. He's in 7th place right now at the moment. And Afif Fadlan is in 8th, followed by Jasri Junus and Nazli Azril in 10th. Azril Nazli there, I believe. You can see Ryan really trying to push that Corvette as quick as he can through the corners here. There's the tricky part there, trying to make sure that you don't run too wide around the corners in order to trip up the qualifying scrutiny, which is being set to medium if I'm not mistaken. 15 minutes in the qualifying session, and 10 minutes of that have just about passed. So there's 5 minutes to go. There'll be a chance for realistically 1 or 2 laps basically in order to try and improve their lap times there. And Ryan Lamb looks like he could be going a little bit quicker through the final corner there, but it looks like his previous sectors were not quicker than his personal best, so that's going to be very interesting to see if he can get that time up. Coming into the braking zone there, really feeding the car through the corners. And it looks like it's 1:17.5, so Ryan Lamb will be wanting to improve on his lap time there. Farouz Fazil has managed to go quicker than his previous personal best in the second sector here. We've broken the track up here to 4 sectors to make it easier to break down where they're going quicker and slower on the little graphic down there. And ooh, he's just spun the car around. That's going to be very real pity. It looks like he would have been on pace to at least match his time there, but unfortunately he just pushed a little bit too hard through there. Mohammed Muhaimin is now up in 4th place in the Porsche. The Porsche's looking very quick in GT. Of course, the difference between these Porsches and the road-going counterparts is that they use the rather liberal interpretation of the FIA rules to put the engine in the middle of the car, so it's got a mid-engine rear-wheel drive layout as opposed to a rear-engine rear-wheel drive layout of the standard car. And now as he comes across the line there, that should bring him... Oh, he doesn't go quicker, it's 1:15.416, so he's going to be trying to push a little bit quicker there. That's Andy Stowe, a very quick driver in his own right. And that all black, rather menacing looking BMW M8. He comes across the line there. He wasn't able to go quicker. He wanted to try and push and try and gain a few more spots. He is currently in 3rd place, however, so that would really bode well for his race. Meanwhile, Calvin Ha in that Radical SRA, the classic Martini liveries, going around the track. Now in the SRA you've got to be a lot more accurate with your steering inputs and your throttle inputs. These cars generate quite a lot of downforce. In fact, they can take Eau Rouge and Rayon flat without really breaking into a sweat. So these cars might not have the top end power of the cars up ahead, but they do have the downforce and the handling advantage. And considering that Charlotte is a track that rewards handling ability more than you might think, considering it is on an oval, it could be that the Radical SRH might be very quick indeed. So let's see Calvin try and get the car through NASCAR 3 and NASCAR 4, of course the banked ovals. With the bank corners on an oval, they're broken up into two corners, the entry and the exit. A little bit of trivia there for the NASCAR fans out there. And there we can see Dipsters. Steady gambatte for Shame Aizan. There's a lot of fans out there, down there in the comment section below, so do leave a comment down below and have a chat with the fans. Some of the drivers that aren't able to make it into the race will be watching. Nabi Fazila there saying nice. Adit Dipster saying Shami Aizan Muhammad Hanafiah. So he's definitely has his favourite driver out there, really pushing very hard indeed. And he should be justified in his support, seeing that Sami Aizan is right up there in second place, only 2/10 of a second behind Simon Sanchez. So do leave a comment down below, and you can have a chat with some like-minded fans. And whilst you're down there, do hit that like button, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube feeds, and do share the stream amongst your friends and spread that sim racing love around. Reza there saying, "Budak macam tak sedap je." Why? That's why. Azran Nasli they're not quite able to get the pace up. I do know these guys are quite quick in race pace, so sabar saja, nanti dia orang boleh naik sikit masa time race. That's the strategy for these guys, sure. But Ilham Hlabi, that's a driver who will be quite quick indeed around the track. Now, will he take the qualifying lap, or will he do yet another attempt at a last to first challenge? Now, that's been Ilham's sort of calling card over the last couple of years in sim racing. He's been sim racing for a very long time. He started pretty much at the dawn of the iRacing service, and he's been on the service for a good number of years, over 10 years of sim racing experience under that right foot, pushing that Ferrari around the high banks here at Charlotte. And it looks to me like this might be a quick lap from him. Let's have a look and see if he gets it across the line. Will he set a lap time? No. So he's obviously either having problems with the track limits, or what would probably be more the case, that he is not qualifying and starting from the back of the field. So that could be quite exciting indeed. Lloyd Lachlan, he is going on a fairly quick lap right now. He's got 3 green sectors there. He's quicker than his previous best. Coming into the final braking zone there, neat on the curbs there. Very, very neat and precise driver. Coming up across the line there. Let's see what lap time he can do. No lap time. Yeah, qualifying session is already over right now, so for a lot of the drivers who are out there right now, Saiful Arifin and Ilham Hlabi, they are unable to complete their lap times, and it is going to be on to the race. And this is going to be a very interesting grid, with some of the drivers electing to start, it appears, at the rear of the field. But one quick driver who is in the field right now, he's right at the front. Simon Sanchez is up in first place for the HMSRT team. Shami Aizan is in second in the Porsche, whilst Andy So is in third place. Iman Danish is in fourth, followed by Muhammad Muhammad, Ryan Lam, Muhammad Tarmizi, Calvin Ha, Afiq Fadlan, Jasri Junos, Azril Nazli, and Ilham Hlabi in 12th place. Further down the field we have Jasmine Jali in 13th place, Safo Arifin in 14th, followed by Michael Hafiz, Lloyd Lachlan, Federico Texera, Fairuz Fazil, and Surin Selvaraju. A 19-car field in this warm-up race is going to be a very interesting run indeed. Time has started. Once that hits 40 minutes, it'll be the end of the race. So right now, the drivers are trying to load in. It'll be a 40-minute race.
He's doing it again.
There.
He's doing it again.
All the staff for me need to finish my beer. Lloyd, this is the point where you've got to find someone to hold your beer as you drive around the track and hopefully have a good result. Now, for those of you who are probably a little bit wondering how Lloyd Loughlin has the time to text us whilst being in the race, this is a call back to an earlier episode where we had quite a bit of fun with Lloyd Loughlin's running text commentary during the course of one of the AMC practice races. So who knows, maybe we'll see a few more comments from him throughout the race. But right now we have a few more drivers popping in. Ilham Hlabi is popping in, Lloyd Loughlin is ready, and it looks like Surin Selvaraju will be either starting for the pits, but as it stands, the lights are ready and the Porsche 911 safety car is out. I believe they'll be doing a lap of the Charlotte Motor Speedway before commencing the racing. Obviously, Charlotte, because of its final chicane, there is a little bit of a quirk in the track in that they have to line up Le Mans style all in a row in order to try and fit the cars in before they head for the start. So another unique part of this track. But as you can see, they're going through turn 2. This is the point when the drivers start to really focus in on the race ahead. You can see Ilham Hlabi just catching up to the back of the field there. He wasn't quick enough in the taking off there, but he's on the tail of the field. So we have 18 cars out there. It looks like Surin Selvaraju will be starting from the pits as you go through the Bank of America Roval section. The unique part about this track is that due to the design of the track, you don't tend to see that much staggered setups. So the setups on these cars are actually identical left to right. They are symmetrical, and that's because there's a lot of right-hand turns in the course, which is unique for a road course based on an oval. Usually they work the left-hand side quite a bit, and they do still work the left-hand side quite a bit here, but with the right-handed loop in the middle there and the rather surprising amount of elevation change, this really is a unique Roval layout. You can see why this is where they started NASCAR's current trend towards more road courses and more road course events throughout the calendar. It's a unique layout, and it's definitely raised the interest in road course racing throughout America, not only just in the stock car field but also in sports cars and club racing as well. That's Simon Sanchez, who's still in the lead there. He decides to accelerate just a little bit to try and get some pace into the car. You can't be driving too slowly, but the car in the lead does have the as Shami Aizan gets really close there. Had to go off the track there just to try and avoid him. But Simon Sanchez does have...
The pace car is not around.
I think it's quite a bit further ahead. Simon Sanchez is controlling the field right now. He is in pole position, so he has the job, if you will, the responsibility of pacing the cars coming up to the flag there. And you can see there Simon Sanchez perhaps playing a few mind games on some of the cars behind. So the trick with these guys is that they're not allowed to go until Simon Sanchez goes or they come across the start line. And Simon goes for it. The lights are on. Will this be a clean start? Yes. Yes, it is. So the race has started and the timer resets, and Simon Sanchez has a fantastic start off the start of the field, but there's a crash. There's a crash coming out of the Thomas Hardburn turn. Now coming through there, that was Mohammed Tamizi, Yusuf, Calvin Ha in the other Radical SRA. Those two guys look like they're going to be trying to work with each other there, but meanwhile Simon Sanchez has a fantastic lead at the start of the race. Shami Aizan still manages to hold on to second place. Mohammed Mohaimin is in third. Iman Danish is the quickest Radical out there in fourth place. Ryan Lam is in fifth.
Tamizi and Calvin Ha are fighting for position right now, and it looks like Tamizi is really dropping down the field quite a bit. I think something went wrong there. He's still dropping down quite a bit there, and that's the reason why he spun the car. He spun the car right the way around, and he's had to give up a lot of places there. And that's another spin up ahead there. It looks like two radicals decided to spin directly in front of Tamizi. These cars are very difficult to drive when they're on cold tires, so these drivers really have to be very, very careful indeed. And I guess Tamizi found out the hard way that these cars can be a little bit tricky to drive with cold tires. Jaswin Jali, meanwhile, he's a very, very quick driver in these big GT cars. He will be finding the extra added stability and the added ability to warm the tires up, and the more forgiving nature of the GT cars will really help him out up there in 9th place. But he is battling quite hard there with Federico Texera. But now we have a whole group of 3 M8s running line astern. Lloyd Laughlin's in, and it looks like, yeah, there's 3 right up ahead there, and it looks like Saiful Arifin is trying to go for an overtaking maneuver on Lloyd Laughlin. They're definitely fighting for position at this early stage of the race, but you can see they're using a little bit of that AIMC tactic of trying to keep themselves all in a row, all in a line, just to try and help each other along there. Up ahead is Lloyd Laughlin, who's going to go on the outside. Saiful Arifin's going to go on the inside, and it looks like Saiful Arifin makes up another place there. Look at that sight coming out of NASCAR 2. Saiful Arifin managing to get that position there, but Lloyd Laughlin's going to go on the counter-attack, and ooh, just goes a little bit too hard on the brakes there, locks up, and unfortunately he has to give that position back. Saiful Arifin has to go straight on, and it looks like Saiful Arifin has claimed that position there, but through no lack of trying from Lloyd Laughlin's side, he went really deep in the braking zone there, and unfortunately there was a little bit of contact. Meanwhile, Ryan Lam is pushing very hard indeed to try and catch up with Shameh Aizan and try and get another SRA member up towards the podium positions there and try and join Simon Sanchez right up at the front of the field. He is in that glorious C8 Corvette. Up ahead is Shameh Aizan in that very, very fancy Porsche. You can see Shameh is definitely in tune with the Porsche there. He's driving it like a Porsche, because these cars do still have quite a light front end. The mid-engine version that the FIA allowed Porsche to do on these cars solved some of the slightly jittery front end that these cars are famous for, but it didn't completely cure it. But it takes a special driver to try and get these to work, and it looks like Mohammed Mohammed and Shameh Aizan are those drivers. And once you get this Porsche to work, it really is very quick indeed. Meanwhile, Ryan Lam is still trying to look for a place to overtake there at the front of the field. It looks like he's trying to go around the inside. Will he be able to make it work? It's a very hard braking zone if you try and go wide through there. And it looks like Ryan Lam isn't able to make it work. Now coming down to turn 1, the heartburn turn. He gets closer, but he's unable to do anything through there. Now will he be able to do anything through the Bank of America Roval section? Coming up around turns 3 and 4. And you can see Shameh is having to push the car very hard indeed to try and run away from Ryan Lam. Ryan, a very, very quick driver with a lot of experience in this type of car, and you can see there's already a car sliding backwards there. That was Saiful Arifin, I think it was. No, that was another car. Firers, I believe. So that's our first car lap for this evening there. Right now, Shameh Aizan is under a lot of pressure, meanwhile, from Ryan Lam. They're coming into the back straight there. They're going to go side by side. Shameh Aizan tries to close the door on Ryan Lam, but unfortunately, Ryan has that better straight line speed from the Corvette and manages to make the car, get the car through in front of Shameh Aizan. Meanwhile, Ilham Hlabi had to start from the back of the field there, but he is closing in on the other Toyota Motorsport sponsored drivers. This time it's going to be a case of same livery, different car. The BMW M8 up ahead is being driven by Lloyd Laughlin. The Ferrari behind him is being driven by Ilham Hlabi, and Jaswin Jali is in another C8 Corvette. It looks like the vets are actually quite quick around this track here. Ryan Lam managing to get himself up into 3rd place. Jaswin Jali more than keeping up the pace in 7th place, chasing after Lloyd Laughlin. And up ahead there, that's Imam Danish, I believe. So that's Fairuz Fazil in the BMW M8, who's going to fall a lap behind these drivers there. But you can see that Iman Danish trying to unlap himself in the Radical SR8. It's going to be very interesting to see how the SR8s do, because right now the quickest SR8 on track is Mohammad Tamizi, but all 4 Radical drivers did have a spin at the start of the race there, and now Iman Danish is trying his hardest in order to try and climb back up the field. And it's going to be a real hard thing to do, because he is, of course, a lap behind. Meanwhile, in 7th place, Jazrin Jali is still got his foot flat to the floor, trying very hard indeed. As you can see, the Radical almost coming up into the barrier there. But Jazrin has his foot flat to the floor. He's gained 6 positions so far. Ilham Halabi has only gained 4. But it looks like these 2 drivers will be trying to work together in order to get up to the car ahead. Meanwhile, we have on the line here Paduka. Hi Paduka. I saw Paduka there in the Discord server. You see his bubble right there on screen. We'll try and get a word with him later on, as soon as he gets his microphone ready to go. Meanwhile, Ryan Lam is in 3rd place. He is right behind Muhammad Mohaimin. Will this be another overtaking maneuver on the backstretch there? Really close to each other. Ryan Lam's going to try and go on the inside, but it doesn't quite manage to make it work. But he's able to make the chicane, and Mohaimin isn't. So will that be a penalty from the iRacing system? That would be very interesting indeed. Will Mohaimin have to drop some pace? Will he have to take a penalty? He's trying to let Ryan Lam pass, I believe. Unfortunately, that's just bottled Ryan Lam up a little bit more. So that's going to be very, very interesting indeed. So Paduka dah dapat mic jalan tak?
Dia tak ada. Don't worry. He'll be back.
That's okay, because with us right now is Carol Alam as well, who is our director for this race. I just realized I haven't actually changed my profile picture yet. For those of you who are wondering, that's Rallycat. That's been my little... I used to have a series of stickers back when I was racing, and that was my little mascot on the side of the race cars. But for those of you
flashing Mohaimin there.
yeah. And Ryan Lam will see if he can try and get past Mohaimin there once again, because remember, Mohaimin went straight on at the bus stop chicane through no fault of his own, basically. But Shami Aizan is catching up as well, so this could really complicate things for Ryan Lam up ahead. Mohaimin's dropping a lot of pace from Simon Sanchez, and perhaps that's why Ryan Lam is getting a little bit testy, let's say, with the car up ahead. Ryan wants to go clear of Mohaimin, because it looks like Ryan Lam right now has the pace in the Corvette. The Corvettes are very quick at the start of the stint, and so he'll be trying his hardest in order to try and get past that Porsche and try and catch the Ferrari of Simon Sanchez, who's still in the lead, and he's in the lead by 10 seconds. So that was an almost flawless start to the race from Simon Sanchez. He got the jump on the rest of the drivers, and once he got further up ahead, as it turns out, the second quickest car out track right now, Ryan Lam, is being held up a little bit by Mohaimin. Now, of course, Ryan has to try and get past Mohaimin by fair means. They are racing for position, but it must feel a little bit frustrating for Ryan in that Corvette. But Mohaimin is still in 2nd place, and he is going to defend as much as he can. That is his right there in 2nd place. They are battling for position, so he's going to try his hardest in order to try and keep Ryan Lam behind, and Ryan Lam makes a mistake. So Ryan Lam makes a mistake there, and looks like Shami Aizan might have made... Ooh, he almost made a move there on Ryan Lam. This has really brought things back into play for Shami Aizan, who's losing quite a bit of time there, but it looks like Ryan Lamb's car is starting to run a little bit ragged. He's at that critical point where the tyres aren't as new, they aren't as fresh, they're going to start tailoring off. Of course, iRacing has that fantastic tyre physics model. It's been getting better and better, especially with all of the pro racing drivers that are putting input or giving positive feedback to the iRacing service over the tyre models, as well as a little bit of constructive criticism. And as the drivers have reported to me in private, that the cars are definitely feeling a lot more realistic. Hyman is up in second place there, he's still up in second. And now Shame Aizan is close enough to try and do something perhaps in the following laps. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Lloyd Lachlan and Jasmine Jolly. JJ behind there, he's tried left, he's tried right, he's tried everything pretty much. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a clip there, and that sent both drivers around, which is a little bit unfortunate, but there you go. Sometimes in racing you find yourself in the same spot of tarmac at the same time and you tangle. It's so easy to get these cars tangled up there, but so far Lloyd Lachlan still doing okay, but Jasmine Jolly had to go into the pits as well as Iman Danish, so there could have been a little bit damage there. It's a 45-minute race, there might be pit stops. I do know that the Radicals have to make a pit stop throughout the course of the official race, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes for them.
Yeah, maybe their fuel tanks are not that big.
Yeah, so basically in the SRA event that's going to be coming up in the championship race, which is going to be coming up this Saturday, which will be broadcast live, we will see the Radicals take a sort of a handicap in the form of a mandatory pit stop. Now these GT3 cars, these GTE cars, I do apologise, they probably could make the entire 45-minute race without pitting, but of course there is a bit of a pace advantage. Of course, in this roll-up race, that has been complicated ever so slightly by the fact that all four Radicals spun on the first lap, so that's really hard for them to try and claw back up the field. But you can see Tarmizi has definitely got the car back up and running again. He's in the top 10. Iman Danish has just gone out the pits. Calvin Ha has just had his car repaired. Unfortunately, we've had 3 retirements so far. Michael Hafiz is, well, he was out of the race on our screens. He's back out of the race now. There might be a small timing issue with him. That might be some lag on his end, but we'll see about that. It looks like he's back out on track there, so he should be able to at least finish the race in any case. But Federico Teixeira is definitely out, and Surin Selvaraju was unable to start from the pit lane, unfortunately, so we already have 2 cars that are out of the race. Iman Danish having to go back into the pits. That's a little bit unfortunate for him. Looks to be maybe a bit of a damage repair. But right now Ryan Lam is in second place, so he's managed to get past Mohamed Mohaimin, and now we'll see Ryan Lam released in order to try and catch up to Simon Sanchez out front. But there's a 15-second gap. Ryan Lam lost quite a lot of time behind the 2 Porsches battling for position, but he is now in second place, and he's got just lap traffic up ahead. Unfortunately, the lap traffic there just had nowhere to go, and Ryan Lam unfortunately had to run over him just a little bit. It does look rather a lot like the Big Band Mini GT car running over the little skateboard, but sometimes these cars are coming across the back markers quite quickly, and that perhaps caught the Radical driver by surprise. Saifur Arifin meanwhile had a big mistake coming into the bus stop chicane there. That's going to lose him quite a bit of time. And Simon Sanchez is there. He's now in the lead still by 16.9 seconds. Simon Sanchez there, it appears that he is running a real-life racing livery of a rather well-known Thai racing team. I can't quite make out what team it was. but I do recognize the livery from the Real World Motorsports there, so that's quite a cool little touch to Real World Racing. I do believe is a genuine tyre racing team. Might be quick. Do leave a comment down below if any of you guys recognize the team that livery comes from, but it is a Blancpain series car. Ryan Lamb is in second place still, but he has Mohammed behind him, and could this be sort of clever tactics from Mohammed to try and wear out Ryan Lamb in the early part of the race in order to try and bring the race back to the Porsche, because the Porsche is a lot more consistent over the course, or they traditionally are more consistent over the course of a stint than the Corvettes. Ilham Hlabi, meanwhile, he has a fantastically smooth overtaking maneuver on Afi Fadlan running that Works liveried BMW. Nice clean drafting maneuver there, making sure that he is right in front and clearly ahead by the time they get into the bus stop chicane there. So Ilham Hlabi has now gained 7 positions and he's up in 5th place. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Mohammed Mohammed coming into the final chicane there. That's Ryan Lamb up ahead, and ooh, that's a big mistake from Mohammed Mohammed. Just stopped short of the barrier there. That's how tricky that last chicane is. You have to take quite a bit of curb in order to be quick in a GTE car, but if you take too much curb, it's very easy to spin, and there's not a lot of room for error, so you could very easily find yourself wrecked up against the wall. But meanwhile, Ilham Hlabi still motoring around there in 5th place, and he's catching up to Mohammed at quite a bit of pace there. Meanwhile, Surit Savaraju says he was not able to join. Have fun racing, guys. Well, that's a real pity for Surin. Hopefully he'll be able to make it for this Saturday. In the meanwhile, for those of you guys who want to send some commiseration messages to Surin, do leave a comment down below in the chat, and of course like and subscribe to the streams on Facebook and YouTube as well, and do share that stream, spread that sim racing love around. Afi Fadlan is in 6th place, sitting rather pretty there. And it looks like Ilham Hlabi had to go into the pits. There's quite a bit of damage on Ilham's car from an earlier incident, and it looks like he's unable to drive the car with any sort of pace, so he's going to go into the pits and try and get that repaired. Meanwhile, Ryan Lamb is up there in 2nd place. He's trying his hard to try and get up there. That's Doyle Lawrence. There we go. Ryan Lamb in the Raven Graphics Valvoline Corvette. Awesome. Yes, definitely. Very awesome livery there. A huge callback to the famous Valvoline NASCAR livery, but a unique take on that. The Raven Graphics guys definitely doing a good job with that paint scheme. It is definitely very easy to pick out in a group there, but Ryan Lamb there in 2nd position. He is catching Simon Sanchez at a rate of roughly 3/4 of a second a lap, but it is a little bit inconsistent as well. Ryan Lamb easily, I believe, one of the quickest cars out on track at this moment in comparison to Simon Sanchez. Looking at the timing screens right now, Ryan Lamb is definitely driving quicker, but it looks like the gap might prove to be insurmountable. Meanwhile, Ilham Hlabi has Tamizi up ahead. Will he be able to try and make an overtaking maneuver on the SR8? It's going to be a real challenge, because coming up now is the heartburn turn, and this SR8 is proving very quick indeed in the infield section. So it's going to be a real challenge for Ilham to try and keep as close to the car up ahead as possible. But it looks like there's a little bit of rear wing damage there from Tamizi. That might affect the aerodynamics quite a bit in the SR8. Very small engines in these cars, only a 2.7 litre V8 in the base version. Of course, subsequent evolutions have brought the engine size up to 3.4 depending on the series, but I believe in iRacing it is a 2.7 litre P SRE V8. And unique engines based on 2 superbike engines, so they've welded together at the hip. But it looks like Ilham Hlabi, now that his car's repaired, he is in the groove and he's able to lap quite quickly there. Right now he's able to head up into 7th place. And behind him it looks like Tamizi is trying to get past Saifur Arifin, who drops a lap back. Quite a lot of chaos so far in the race. A lot of people spinning. Saifur Arifin and Ilham Hlabi are not 2 drivers that spring to mind when he gets into that. There we go. Doyle Lawrence. I'm Raven Graphics. That explains it. Unfortunately, on my screen there, I couldn't quite make out the name there. But so Ryan Lam, you do have Raven Graphics as a fan officially. So do head over and perhaps try and get him to design you a custom livery. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? So not only do we have Raven Graphics repping their design out there as well, we have Pico Media as well, who are doing quite well with the graphics out there. That's Saifur Arifin's concern. So the Total Motorsports cars are looking very sharp indeed, and all throughout the field there. And the cars in iRacing have been getting a lot more colourful, a lot more nice, with quite a lot more personality in them, and it's just wonderful to see a whole field of very, very colourful cars indeed. One of the most striking things out there on the field there is Tamizi right now. Mohamed Tamizi in that green, that lime green Mountain Dew livery, a very American livery on a very British sports car, trying as hard as possible to try and catch up to the car up ahead. That is Lloyd Lockwood up ahead there, and Tamizi is very fast in the infield section. This car is proving to be very agile indeed in the low to medium speed corners there. It looks like Lloyd just about keeps Tamizi behind him. Now will that big M8 be able to just try and drag race away from the SRA coming into the back straight there, sitting there. I lost feed there for a second.
My Discord crashed. I don't know why. Wait. Are you getting the feed? Okay.
Okay, we're back. So interesting to see there with Doyle talking about the graphics and the physics of iRacing improving. I do have to say it looks a hell of a lot more beautiful than when it did start there. Doyle saying, I've been a member since 2008 and so impressed with how far iRacing has come. Couldn't agree more, and it's only just getting better and better.
Whoa.
And better. And ooh, that's a big mistake there for the 2 drivers. It looks like Lloyd Loughlin got the car very, very sideways indeed, and Tamizi, trying to avoid the incident there, had a big spin. So that's caused yet more problems for Tamizi. There's a bit of damage on there. He did make contact with the wall, and that's going to really ruin his attempts to try and get up to the front of the field. Meanwhile, the 2 Malaysian Porsches there, Mohammed Mohamed and Shame Aizan, in 3rd and 4th place. Now desperately trying to get up in through the field, but they are fighting with each other there, and it looks like there was a bit of door-to-door action coming through the final chicane, and Mohamed manages to keep himself in 3rd place. Wow. The battle for 3rd and 4th is hotting up there, but meanwhile up ahead Ryan Lam is catching by quite the margin right now, heading onto the back straights. Remember, it was 15 seconds between himself and Simon Sanchez. 25 minutes have gone, 20 minutes to go in the race, and that gap has gone down from 15 to 11 seconds. So Ryan Lam could do this. If he keeps his tyres alive, he might be able to catch up with the car up ahead there, but it really is going to be up to this man here, our current leader, Simon Sanchez, trying to get himself scythe his way through the field. And it really is up to Simon Sanchez and his ability to navigate through traffic whilst maintaining a good pace. That's going to be key to him maintaining that lead. As you can see there, with that overtake, Ryan Lamb's gained another 2 seconds. That's how critical getting through traffic quickly is. But that's the grand sort of chess game that you have to play in traffic. Not only in iRacing, but in the real world of motorsports as well. It's not so much leading the race in clear air that's the difficult part, it's leading a race through traffic, through lapped cars, back markers. Silver cars that are a lap or two behind you, that's going to be where the real challenge is, especially in these longer races. 45 minutes long is quite a stretch when it comes to sprint racing. Not quite the full-on endurance race, but definitely quite close to it in terms of a stint length. But in the meantime, Shami Aizan isn't giving up. He's trying to go around the inside of Mohammed Mohamed. Could this be the moment Shami Aizan has been pushing for? It looks like he's able to get the nose ahead. He manages to get the back ahead as well, coming into the braking zone here at the bus stop, and it looks like Shami Aizan finally manages to get himself ahead of Mohamed. Nice clean overtaking maneuver there. It's all about the drive coming on to the banked oval section there for Shami Aizan to get that movement to work. It really goes to show that if you get the exit to the corner right, you can have a big difference to your lap time. And it looks like Shami Aizan's car just in a slightly better condition, despite what that rear wing might say. He might just have that edge when it comes to tyre grip and overall car health. Meanwhile, Ilham Halabi is all over the back of Afif Fadlan. They've been trading places throughout various points in the race right now, and it looks like Ilham Halabi has managed to carry quite a bit of pace coming into the Roval section here at Charlotte. Getting very close there. You can almost read the URL on the boot of Afif Fadlan's car. At least I assume it's a URL. But Ilham Halabi then looks like he managed to get a better drive out of the corner there. Could this be a carbon copy of Shami Aizan's overtaking maneuver? It looks very much like it. Unfortunately, just a little bit later than Shami's attempt, and Ilham feels like he needs to keep on the inside there, but it's another clean maneuver there to bring Ilham Halabi up into 5th place. Mohamed still in chasing Shami Aizan. They're still not done with their battle for the final step of the podium. They're really pushing those two Porsches as fast as they will go, but they know as well, they will be aware that Ilham Halabi in the other Ferrari has just been released from Afif Fadlan, and he is also trying to catch up. 8 seconds separate Ilham Halabi from the battle for 3rd place, and 8 seconds is also 8.5 seconds is what separates Ryan Lamb from Simon Sanchez. So it's going to be a real challenge not only for Ryan Lamb to try and make up that gap, but also for Simon Sanchez, who has to drive one eye on the road and one eye on the relative box that's in these drivers' display. It's going to be a real challenge for these drivers to try and keep the pace up for long enough. It's really turning into a race of sheer concentration, but there's still a battle to be had throughout the field here, and in this case it's the battle for the final step of the podium. Shami Aizan looks to have the better of Mohammed Mohamed through some of the corners, but Mohamed is able to catch up into the braking zones here, so it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. Meanwhile, Ryan Lamb really pushing that Corvette through the corners, very, very quick through the curves there. He treats those two corners almost as if they were one. Doyle there, yes, went from a 10-second lead down to an 8. It was a 15-second lead earlier on in the race around the 20-minute mark. Now we're at the 30-minute mark, and it's going to be a real challenge for both drivers. Like I say, for Simon Sanchez, he has to think tactically now. How fast can he drive whilst being safe, whilst making sure he doesn't make any mistakes? He can afford to lose some time in relation to Ryan Lamb, but not much. And of course, he doesn't want to push the car too much either, because if he goes too far, overheats the tyres or wears them out, he'll be sliding around the road there, and he'll be prime target if and when Ryan Lamb gets to him. Meanwhile, Shami Aizan is still fighting tooth and nail with Mohammed Muhaimin. Just about kept the position there. Shami Aizan's got the red wing on his car, Muhaimin's got the white wing, and it looks like Muhaimin has managed to get through Shami Aizan with that mistake coming into the final chicane, that lockup, and it looks like Muhaimin has gone into third place. Fantastic stuff there from Muhaimin, just picking that moment perfectly. Shami Aizan tried as much as possible to try and outbrake Muhaimin, but Muhaimin was on the absolute lead, you can see there when Shami locked up. Meanwhile, Doyle saying, I don't think they can run another 14 minutes without another pit stop. This could be a very interesting point indeed. These cars are on the limit when it comes to trying to run a 45-minute race. It could be that some of the drivers might be driving to a very specific pace when it comes to the fuel consumption of the cars as well. That might come into play here.
Simon Sanchez is going for a steady 115 lap for every lap.
That's going to be key, I think, to his success. He knows he could do a 115 easy, and he knows he still has the car in a good position. Ryan Lamb has caught up quite a bit. He's now in just under 8 seconds between himself and Simon Sanchez, but you can see how hard Ryan is pushing the car there. In relation to Simon Sanchez, who's taking it relatively easier, but this could be quite interesting indeed. There's another 13 minutes or so to go in the race. Could that be enough time for Ryan Lamb to try and catch up? And more to the point, once he does catch up, catching up is one thing. Trying to overtake Simon Sanchez will be another, because Simon is keeping his car ready for that little counter-attack, and he's also keeping an eye on the fuel gauge. Just as Doyle mentioned, all these drivers now will start thinking about that fuel consumption. Will Ryan Lamb have enough fuel? Will Simon Sanchez have enough fuel? Will all the other drivers have enough fuel to try and get through the race? So far, the top 8 places are on the lead lap. From 9th onwards, it is 1 lap down, and from 13th onwards, it is 2 laps down. Lloyd Loughlin had to go into the pits there. That could be the first of quite a few pit stops for these guys. And of course, this being the warm-up race, this is valuable information when it comes to things like fuel consumption and tyre wear rates for these drivers once they get into the championship race this Saturday, when the full might of the SRA, the Macau China Sim Racing Association, and the Sim Racing Enthusiasts of Malaysia come together for the fantastic SRA GTE-Radical series. Round 3 will be on Saturday. This is the warm-up race for that event, and you can definitely see there's some drivers that could win this race, or could win this Saturday's championship race, right there in the field currently. Simon Sanchez definitely a contender for the win, Ryan Lamb as well. Saiful Arifin has been very quick indeed. Unfortunately, did not have the best race so far this time around. Jasrin Jali in 6th place, he's another possible candidate for the win. All drivers who have had a lot of experience running in the SRA championships. Ilham Labi there in 5th place. He's another driver, very quick, very experienced. He has been racing in iRacing since around 2008 or 2009, I believe, pretty much at the start, and you can imagine how much experience he has in driving that car. He's gained 7 positions there. He couldn't quite put a qualifying lap together. I'm not sure if he wanted to put a qualifying lap together, because Ilham Labi has almost made it a tradition in these warm-up races to start from the back. but now he is right onto the tail of Shame Aizan, and he's managed to make up the gap between himself and the battle for third place, which is broken up just ever so slightly now. Shame Aizan looks like his car is a little bit worse for wear there, so Ilham Halabi might have a chance to try and make an overtaking maneuver work very, very soon. Now, the one thing you need to know about Ilham's driving style, he likes to be right, follow the car up ahead very, very closely indeed. And he's sort of known as a bit of an intimidator. Never makes contact with another driver, but you wouldn't want him filling your rearview mirrors, because he can follow a driver, pursue him for 3, 4, 5 laps, and just wait for that mistake, piling on the pressure the entire time. As you can see there, Shame Aizan, perhaps he knows that he can't quite keep the pace up. He doesn't even try, he lets Ilham Halabi go. And now that's one more place between Ilham Halabi and that podium position. This could be a very exciting end to the race for Ilham. It could be a rather exciting race for Ryan Lamb, although Ryan Lamb isn't able to make up any more time. It looks like Simon Sanchez might be responding to Ryan Lamb's pace, and they're keeping an even 8-second gap up there in the lead. Very interesting way this race is developing, but have to hand it to Simon Sanchez. Fantastic, perfect start, perfect lead out to the race, and it looks like it's going to be very, very good throughout the course of the event. There'll be some notepad taking out soon, but look at the rate that Ilham Halabi is able to catch up with Mohammed Mohimin. His last lap of 1:15.2, which is on pace with Simon Sanchez up there in the lead. In fact, maybe a little bit quicker than Ryan Lamb in second. And he's caught up to that Porsche at quite a rate. The previous lap, Ilham Halabi was 2 seconds behind Mohimin. Now he's right behind Mohammed Mohimin. This could be another position change coming out of the Roval there, very close to the wall. Ilham having to put some corrective steering input into the car there just to miss the wall there. Again, very close indeed. Ilham using every single inch of position as possible. Doyle does put on a good point there. What time is the broadcast on Saturday? I believe it is at 1300 hours Greenwich Mean Time. And we'll be
1 hour earlier than today.
yes.
So if we're referring to Malaysian time, we started the race at qualifying at 10. It should be at 9.
So the race will start at 9 o'clock Malaysian time, or Singapore time to be more exact. That works out to be, I guess, 1 p.m. GMT. I'm not too sure what it is elsewhere in the world. I guess you can look it up. Texas, USA. How many hours is that?
I think the 12 hours difference here.
Oh yeah. So it'll be in the morning. It'll be basically it'll start an hour earlier than it has this time around.
It'll be a Saturday morning race for you.
Yeah. So do look forward to that. It'll be a nice little breakfast treat for you down in the States. And it's nice to know that we have some friends watching from the Americas. Fantastic part of the world, I must say, and nothing screams motorsports more than American motorsports, and their sort of clubman motor racing, very, very good. Lloyd Lachlan says, here's a tip for the drivers, don't eat McDonald's before a race. Shoot me now. Well, he was in the race, but unfortunately he's in the pits and 5 laps down, so I really don't want to ask him what happened there. But that's very unfortunate for Lloyd. Hopefully he'll do a little bit better next time around. Perhaps I need to send him over some kale or some nice healthy vegetarian options. Then again, maybe not. Well, Ilham Halabi is in 4th place. He's putting a lot of pressure on Mohammed, and you can see there he's caught up. There's no luck in there. You do not want to know. Oh, trust me, I do not. Context is enough, ladies and gentlemen. We won't go too far into that. But Brendan there does have a good point. Halabi is making some nice gains towards the front. But as you can see, his racing style very unique indeed. He caught up to Mohammed over the last lap there, and now he's literally stalking Mohammed. He won't go directly for the overtaking maneuver. He'll try and stalk his target, if you will, stalk his prey coming into the first corner there. Will that be another braking zone coming in there? Not quite able to make it that time around, but do keep your eye out on him coming through the Bank of America Roval section, just tiptoeing the car around, using every single inch of the road and even some of the grass there. It looks like he is trying to get as close to Mohammed as possible. There is less than a car's length rather between them. It looks like he's going to come up. Will he be able to try and make an overtaking maneuver work through here? Mohammed covers off the inside there. Now coming up towards the end there, very close. Could this be it for Ilham Halabi? He tries to go around the outside, but Mohammed manages to defend. Absolutely fantastic driving between these two drivers there. Do have to agree with Doyle there. Fantastic battle so far. Up in the lead there, you can see Ilham going in towards the inside. Could this be it for Ilham Halabi? He comes up into the top 3 with that maneuver, but Mohammed not quite ready to give that up yet. And this is absolutely fantastic stuff there. 2 drivers at the top of their game, pushing each other as hard as they can. The 3rd place. Pressure is intense indeed, Brendan. This is going to be a fantastic end to the race for these drivers. 42 minutes and 45 seconds have passed out of 45-minute race, so this could be the last lap. We might end it on lap 35. Right now, looking for the leader. He's just crossed. We will have a lap 35 there. Ilham Halabi still going up. The race might end on lap 36 or lap 37, depending on how quick Simon Sanchez takes the last lap there. But meanwhile, Ilham Halabi is going to go side by side with the Porsche. They touch. They keep going though. And Ilham Halabi managing to get under brakes there, just about managing to slow that Ferrari down. Mohammed still hard on the throttle there. Will there be a counter-attack from from Mohammed in 4th place now? But Ilham Halabi managing to get the car up into the lead. That was a spectacular pass on the leader there. And meanwhile, there's another spectacular pass for Jazrin Jali, who gets past Samer Aizan. So the Porsches who were running in contention for the podium have just dropped back quite a bit there. The Corvette of Jazrin Jali is going very well indeed, whilst Ilham Halabi manages to hold on to 3rd place, but there's going to be quite a bit of trouble up ahead there. That looks to be the back marker car. That's Jasri Junos in the BMW M8. This could trip Ilham Halabi up quite a bit there. Mohammed still not being left behind at this point, interestingly enough. And this could be another chance for an overtaking maneuver. Could this be another slingshot coming out of turn NASCAR 2? Coming down at the back stretch. It looks like Ilham just about has that under control. But no, he goes off wide and he has to give that position back. That is a disaster for Ilham Halabi. He's going to have to try and get back past Mohammed for that 3rd place. These guys are pushing as hard as they would in the championship race this Saturday. We'll be on an hour earlier than we are this evening for those of you who just joined us. And that was a big mistake there for Ilham Halabi. He's not a man that usually makes mistakes, so maybe he himself is feeling the pressure between these 2 drivers there. Mohammed up there in 3rd place, Ilham Halabi in 4th. And there's been contact there from Afiq Fadlan and Andy So. Unfortunately, Afiq's car has quite a bit of damage there. He tried to put the power down, but it didn't quite work. Meanwhile, Simon Sanchez manages to hold that gap and wins the race here. Lap 37. Fantastic stuff indeed. Ryan Lam comes in second. He tried to push that Corvette as hard as it will go, coming across the line in second place. Ilham Labi is still battling with Mohamed Mohaimin coming through the final two corners there. Will this... through the first two banked corners. Will there be enough time for Ilham and Mohaimin to battle it out? It looks like Mohaimin managed to get just a little bit of a gap there. 0.4 of a second is quite a bit to try and make up in a braking zone. Let's see how this pans out. Ilham Labi gets closer, and unfortunately wasn't quite able to try and catch Mohaimin there. So Mohamed Mohaimin manages to grab the bottom step of the podium there in third place. Ilham Labi in fourth, only 0.2 of a second behind. Jasmine Jali in fifth, Shami Aizan in sixth, Andy So is in seventh. What a spectacular race that turned out to be. An absolutely brilliant race from all that was involved. Spectacular battles up and down the leaderboard, but one man who had it all under control was Simon Sanchez of Macau. He wins it for the HMSRT team in first place. Ryan Lam is in second for HMSRT. The Hong Kong driver there in second place. Mohamed Mohaimin in third after that battle for SRE. For the SRE team there, Ilham Labi makes it to fourth place for Tata Motorsports. Jasmine Jali in fifth for Simar Garage Racing Team, while Shami Aizan is a privateer there in sixth place, and Afiq Fadlan is seventh. Andy So is in eighth, followed by Muhammad Tamizi, Saiful Arifin, Calvin Ha, Jashri Junos, Fairuz Fazil, and fortunately the retirements Lloyd Lachlan, Azrael Nazli, Michael Hafiz, Iman Danish, and Federico Texera, with one did not start, which is Surin Silva Raju. I can agree with Doyle there. We're glad you were able to catch the end of the race, and trust me, if you thought this was good, the championship race is going to be mega. There's over 30 entries coming in through there. So as Brendan there pointed out, yes, these events all assists must be off. Yes, that is correct. The only assists allowed are traction control if the car has it. And thanks there for Doyle. Thanks for keeping me company as well. You guys have been wonderful, and for the rest of you, do leave us a comment down below. I do like to have a chat with the spectators. It's a great part of broadcasting on Facebook, is that I can interact with all you racing fans out there as well. Tuku Ershad, let's go Mohaimin. Tuku Ershad, for those of you who don't know, is another one of our racers in the SRA Championship and in the AIMC Championship. We'll hopefully be able to see him competing this Saturday. But thanks to all the guys who have been interacting with us and following our streams on both Facebook and YouTube. Do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you liked it, and just share that stream around. But wow, what a race. These two Porsches trying to battle for third place, unfortunately having to slip back a little bit, but Mohaimin managing to finally get that third place basically on the last lap. And the dominance of Simon Sanchez, he's going to be the man to beat across the rest of the race. And meanwhile, this is the poster for the actual championship event. We'll be at the Charlotte Roval this 17th of October. 12 o'clock GMT is when practice starts. We'll be starting our stream at around 12:30 to 12:45, depending on the internet connection. Qualifying will start at 1300 GMT, followed by the 40-minute sprint. So this is going to be absolutely spectacular stuff from all these drivers there. We will be broadcasting select rounds of the championship live right here on Adrenaline Impact, so do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for the next time we'll be live. We do also do the Adrenaline Impact iRacing Championship as well. It's currently on hiatus, but we'll be hopefully bringing that back before the end of the year. And there's quite a lot of fun sim racing and real world content lined up here on Adrenaline Impact, so do stay tuned for that.
Okay, that leaves to say big thanks to all the viewers today. Thanks for sharing, thanks for liking our stream, and stay tuned for this Saturday's race. For you, Doyle, in the States, you can tune in on Saturday morning having coffee. So, man, anything more to say?
Well, all that remains for me to say is to thank Kara Alang and to thank all of our fans who have been so gracious this evening down there in the comment section below. Thank you, Brendan. And also to thank the Macau China Sim Racing Association, the Sim Racing Association of Singapore, as well as the Sim Racers Asia community. For those of you who want to know more, do check them out on social media and on iRacing's forums. They're a great bunch of guys there that you'll be able to talk to and learn more about the SRA event. GTE with Radical SRA. Fantastic little multi-class event there, and the events are just going to get better and better and better. Look at that. On Saturday we have the race at Charlotte Roval. Interlagos is going to be absolutely interesting. Montreal Le Mans is going to be absolutely epic, and will end at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so do stay tuned for that. But like I said, thanks to our director Kara Alang, thanks to everyone who raced, and thanks to the Macau China Sim Racing Association, Sim Racing Association of Singapore, and Sim Racers Asia, as well as the SRE community. But for now, that's it from me, Max Palmer. We'll see you in the next broadcast. Ta-ra!
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Center. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.